Good morning. It is a rainy Wednesday morning on February the 23rd. We are so quickly approaching the end of February, and there have been some strategic and large changes in our school system. One has to do with masking. All students and all staff now have the option to not wear a mask or to wear a mask. And if you want your son or daughter to wear one of these during the school day, you need to contact the school and make sure that they know that those are your wishes, so that we can help students remember that that is what you want. I think that's very, very important. Now, every Monday, we're going to be posting what our COVID rates are in the school system on both our website and also on social media. So on Monday afternoon or through the week after that, if you want to look and see where we are right now with numbers, I would encourage you to do that. These being taken out as a requirement is also going to open up our opportunity to have some different kinds of field trips and things like that. Now remember, field trips are optional. If you don't want your son or daughter going, that's absolutely fine, and we'll still be wearing masks on transportation until the CDC says we no longer have to do that. But I want you to know that we are following DHHS recommendations, and we are doing what our school board says. Now today, we are at the middle school, and we're going to go into a classroom in just a minute that I don't know that we have ever had in one of these videos. That is our Cherokee language and culture class. We have those classes both at the middle school and at the high school. So today, we're at the middle school. I think this is 8th grade. I may be wrong, but I know that the instructor is Angie Gunter. So why don't you come with us and meet the students? Good morning. Thank you for letting us interrupt. This is our Cherokee language and culture, correct? And Ms. Gunter, tell me, what are the intentions of this class as far as you are concerned?
I would like to introduce beginning Cherokee to them. We do some beginning Cherokee. We learn a lot of vocabulary, our greetings, our names, where we live. And then I like the traditional arts and crafts to help revitalize traditional arts and crafts. So that's what the whole point in starting this elective was.
How many students do you have in this class? I imagine this may be all of the students for this class unless someone is absent.
We've got a few that are absent. We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 absent today.
Okay.
So there's 13 of them, I think.
13 in here?
For 8th grade.
And this is the 8th grade. I got that right. When I was introducing this, I said this is the 8th grade, and I was hoping I was right.
Right.
Can you, off the top of your head, tell me how many students do you have in Cherokee language and culture in all grades 6, 7, and 8?
Okay, so in 8th grade we have 13 students in Cherokee language and culture, and this is a year-long elective.
Okay.
Because I start out the year with introducing them to Cherokee language, the syllabary, like I said, the greetings and all that. Then we move into traditional arts and crafts the second semester, so it has to be a year-long elective.
I see.
This next elective I have is a 7th grade elective, which is it's a fall semester, Native American Studies. And we kind of cover the 5 civilized tribes, the removal, boarding school experience, tribal governments, stereotyping. We do a whole lot in that class. They have projects that they do as we go along as we're doing units. And then spring semester I do Cherokee syllabary studies with 7th grade.
Okay.
And what we do then is go completely over the syllabary, all 6 columns. I like to go by the columns, introduce them to the sounds, how the sounds work, how they could write the syllabary, because it helps them for future Cherokee language classes to know how to pronounce the sounds, to know how to recognize the phonetics, because if you look at the phonetics, you're not going to probably pronounce it right if you didn't understand the phonetics. So it's all based on sounds. So you can't use that to spell words with. It's all sounds.
Now, you've gone 7th and 8th grade, though, and my understanding, though, is this year, I think for the first time, we've added a 6th grade elective, correct?
Second year.
Second year,
Yes. Okay. This is the second year I do Introduction to Cherokee Culture. So I don't do a whole lot of language with them, but I'm introducing them to Cherokee culture. So one of my things that I love are legends.
Yes.
The oral storytelling, because I feel like it's just as important to preserve those old stories and how they explain their world and how things came to be and taught lessons. I think that's just as important as, doing the traditional arts and crafts in the language. And so I start them out with a big unit on legends. They're actually making books this semester. So everything we're going over, they're making a little summary of the legends we read and putting a picture in a book. So they're making their own little books. And we cover the clan system in there. We're going to do traditional, we're going to try to do native plants. And they've actually planted corn beads back there, but they haven't came up yet. So I don't know if they're going to come up. If they don't, I've got plenty at my house that I can bring and let them plant. And we make corn bead necklaces and talk about the legend of the corn bead. We do a lot with legends in that class. I touch on legends a little bit with this class because there's one of my favorite legends I like to do with 8th grade, and that's the ball game of the birds and animals, because it teaches so many different lessons. And it teaches perseverance, courage, determination. We actually went to East Elementary in November and did a little program for their 3rd grade there.
Oh, really?
So we did some legends for them, and they acted it out. And so we did that this year. And I like to do that with pre-K too. And we actually did it with pre-K, but we couldn't visit there this year. So we just kind of set up the camera and everything in the media center. And
well, I'll tell you what, Angie, let's plan something, okay? I want to give you the microphone here in just a minute and let you, get you to have your students introduce themselves and say where they're from. But I'd like to come back, and I would like for you, some of you, to tell some of the legends, especially the one that Miss Gunter just spoke about. Would you do that for me later on in the semester? Make your heads go this way.
yeah.
Okay.
They did a really good job. I was really proud, and they all got into it. There wasn't a single one of them that's in here that didn't have a part. And actually, they improvised on a legend when we got there. There's one that I chose not to tell the 3rd grade, and they wanted to, which is Spearfinger, because it's kind of scary.
Sure.
And so when we got there, Miss Boston there said, "Oh, they're fine with it." So they actually improvised and did the legend and acted it out and everything without us even practicing that. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
it was
cool.
really. I was really proud of them. They really got into it. But if you're welcome to come back at the end of the year. I've already got it set up for the Niagara ladies in Cherokee to do our meal at the end of the year, and we get together up Deep Creek, and I usually invite fluent speakers down
that'd be
to
great.
have dinner with
so
us.
Let's put that on our calendar,
And,
we'll visit that. And then when you're at Deep Creek, you can tell us a couple of legends. And I'm not too scared of Spearfinger if you want to include that one too.
I don't have the date set up, but I've got them scheduled, and they've got us down for sometime in May when I get when I know more about testing and other things that interfere with electives.
Well, take the microphone, Angie, and go around the room, and let's get these folks on camera. I want to know your name. I would like to hear you say your name in Cherokee and where you're from, and maybe also if you can tell me where you're from in Cherokee, that would be great. But if not, that's okay too. All right? It's all yours, Angie.
Okay. Diakeshki, Dagwado A, Zishkohi, Zinela. Dodeza Doa.
Zits Quo Dagwadoa, Elo Wodihi, Zinela. Atsi Lunchki Dagwadoa, Bryson. Sasonli, Zinela.
Halani Dagwadoa, Za Stony.
Awika Dagwado, what is it? Zishkohi, Zanela. Zinela.
Dakshi Dagwadoa, Kolonai, Zinela.
Wadalishi Dagwadoa, Wilohi, Zinegala.
If it's too much pressure,
Yeah, you
Just pass it on.
Yeah, if you're nervous, that's okay.
it's not a problem at all.
Ayuani Dagadoa, Zalstoni, Zinela.
Atsila Dagwadoa, Zastoni, Zinela.
So I'll introduce you to who each of them is. This is Soraya Hyatt. Her name is Atzila, which is fire because of her hair. All right. This is Matthew Evans. His name is Ayuani, which is swimmer because he likes to swim. This is Anthony Reed. He is Agoli Yeshki, which is reed or reader, which is what they used for the last name Reed in Cherokee, and he's from Big Cove. This one is Wadulishi Reese Cochran, and I chose that name for her because her eyes are golden, and so that Wadulishi is honey. This is Pipsqueak, as I call her, Pippa Welch, and her name is Dokshi, which is turtle. This one is Lauren Standing Deer. Her name is Awigadoga, which is what they call standing deer in Cherokee. This is Ellie Gunter, which is my step-granddaughter, and I call her Els Bells, so I chose Belle as her name, Holani. This one is Rosie Mahay. I always get to Mraz. Kihada, I always want to say Maheha. Sorry about that. And what was your name again? Oh, Otzi Lushki. I chose flower for her last year when I had her in class, just because she's like a flower. I think she's so sweet. All right, and Stephanie's going to disagree with me, but this is Stephanie Dyer. And what was your name again? Zishquo. She's Robin, the bird, Robin. So Zishquo. And of course, I'm Miss Gunter. One of the reasons I started the traditional arts and crafts classes and sought out a grant that I apply for every year that I hope we can continue getting is because when I was at Whittier Elementary, they had a program for a short time called Indian Arts and Crafts, and we had two ladies from Cherokee that came and worked with the Native American students, the Cherokee students, and that was Emma Taylor and Annie Driver. And I still have the artwork that I made when I was in elementary school, and it just struck a chord with me and stayed with me for years. And so when I started taking Cherokee language classes and went to our principal here and asked if I could start an elective years ago, and he asked, would it be open to just Cherokee students? And I said, no, all students. And I've grown and learned a lot as I went along, of course, a lot that I didn't know at all. But I started doing the traditional arts with the students and invited artisans to come in, and I eventually started learning it on my own. So most of the classes I can do on my own. I still get the ladies to come do the pottery with us, as you can see. Like when we start our white oak baskets that are back there in that box, our kits, we will get the lady to come in and help them turn up their baskets, which is the hardest thing to do. So I still get artists to come in, but a lot of it I can do on my own now. So
So is this one of your alls?
yeah, that's actually Ellie's.
Ellie's? Mm-hmm. And I would love, Angie, I would love to spend another 30 minutes in here and just show everything that's going on, because this is fascinating, and it'll be fascinating to so many people. So we're going to come back, and it looks like that this may have been fired in a traditional way.
It is. They are. They take them and fire them after they finish. They come for like 2 days, and this is just a regular little bowl that they said they used to like store feed and stuff in.
Sure.
They're called I want to say Consuela bowls. I don't think that's quite right, but I think it's like that. Yeah, it's similar to that, and that's what they use these for. Now, my sixth graders, they made little vases. They're actually one over there, but they made vases and little pots that they made. So they did something a little different with the 8th grade than they did with the 6th grade, which I thought was really neat too.
We'll come back and we'll look at some more things, because I think that we need to share this with our community more, and I think that we need to highlight this, in my opinion. So thank you, Angie. Thank you for doing this for so many years.
Oh, you're
Because
welcome.
you're one of the few people who we have on staff who can do that successfully, and I appreciate that. And
Thank you.
you to all of you for letting me interrupt your day today. Would you do one more thing as we close out? Would you tell everyone who is watching, thank you? Can they say have a good day?
Yeah, you say Osta Iga. You,
All right, thank you all.
now, how do you say your farewell? Data Daga.
Thank you very much. And for today, I know we've run a little long, but I think it's worth watching. And we'll be back and we'll bring more of these amazing students to you later on in May. But for now, thank you for letting us be part of your family. Thank you for being part of our family. God bless you and have a good day.